Steve Aoki. You know the name, you know the music, and you definitely know the cakes. This guy is a global phenomenon. He's a DJ, a producer, a record label boss, and a philanthropist. Steve Aoki is a true force of nature in the music industry. Aoki is famous for his high-energy performances. He throws cakes, he crowd surfs in inflatable rafts, and he throws some of the wildest parties on the planet. But behind all the excitement is a dedicated artist with a genuine passion for music. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the business. From Linkin Park to BTS, Steve Aoki knows how to make a hit. He's also a successful entrepreneur with his own record label, Dim Mak Records, discovering and promoting new talent. But Steve's story is about more than just music. He uses his platform to give back, supporting causes close to his heart. He's a true inspiration, showing us that with hard work, dedication, and a whole lot of energy, anything is possible. Steve Aoki wasn't born with a platinum record in his hand. He grew up in Newport Beach, California. His dad, Rocky Aoki, was an Olympic wrestler and the founder of the Benihana restaurant chain. Steve was a star athlete in high school, excelling in track and field. He even played on the varsity volleyball team. He went on to study at the University of California, Santa Barbara. He graduated with not one, but 2 degrees, one in feminist studies and another in sociology. But music was always his true calling. He started DJing in college, spinning records at house parties and small clubs. He was drawn to electronic music, the energy, the beats, and the power to move a crowd. He knew this was what he wanted to do. In 1996, Steve Aoki took a huge leap of faith. He founded his own record label, Dim Mak Records. The name Dim Mak is actually a nod to his father's wrestling background. It's a lethal martial arts move. Dim Mak wasn't just another record label. Steve had a vision. He wanted to create a platform for emerging artists, a place where they could find their voice and share their music with the world. Dim Mak quickly became known for its eclectic taste and its support of innovative artists. The label signed acts like Block Party, The Kills, and Mestar KRF, helping to launch their careers and shape the sound of alternative music. Steve Aoki's career as a DJ and producer exploded in the late 2000s. He became known for his high-energy remixes and his electrifying live shows. He wasn't just playing music, he was creating an experience. He collaborated with some of the biggest names in music like Linkin Park, will.i.am, and Afrojack. His music transcended genres, blending EDM with rock, pop, and even country. His collaborations weren't just about making hit records, they were about pushing boundaries and breaking down musical barriers. Aoki's hard work and dedication didn't go unnoticed. He's been nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, a testament to his influence and impact on the music industry. Steve Aoki is more than just a musician, he's a humanitarian. He uses his platform to give back to the community and support causes he believes in. He founded the Steve Aoki Charitable Fund, which supports organizations focused on brain science research and animal rights. He's a passionate advocate for animal welfare and a vocal supporter of organizations like the ASPCA. He's also involved in disaster relief efforts. He donated proceeds from his music to support victims of the Nepal earthquake and the California wildfires. Steve Aoki never slows down. He's constantly pushing boundaries and exploring new frontiers. In recent years, he's ventured into the world of NFTs, creating digital art and collectibles for his fans. He's even set his sights on space. He's partnered with SpaceX to become the first DJ to perform on the moon. Steve Aoki's journey is a testament to the power of hard work, passion, and a little bit of cake-throwing madness. He's a true icon, inspiring a new generation of musicians and dreamers to follow their passions and make their mark on the world.
Evolution is absolutely necessary if you want to survive. That's the natural process of life. At the end of the day, it's a longevity. Like, how do you keep that party going? You have no choice. You have to evolve. Everyone has their own way to evolve as an artist. This is the Steve Aoki way. Evolve, develop gradually, especially from a simple to a more complex form. When I moved to Santa Barbara, I went to school out there, and in the apartment, we put on shows for bands to come through, play, and sleep right on that dirty floor. We called it the Pickle Patch. That also gave me a lot of insight and connections with so many young artists and so many bands that were coming through that I could help develop. And the process was so exciting. It was such a vibrant, energetic environment for me to start a record label. I moved to LA in my early 20s. So what evolved was the college apartment where we had bands perform to what was these small bars, and we would play music to a very select crowd of people. I was putting out lots of indie music, indie bands like Block Party and The Kills, all kinds of bands. So if you wanted to hear that kind of music, you wanted to hang with people that love this kind of music, you would go to these dim mak parties. So the original idea for me DJing wasn't me to be the DJ, it was me to become the party promoter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to get these people in the room. The only time I could practice DJing was when I would get there before the bars open. So, I mean, I felt bad for anyone walking in when the doors opened because I was awful. And as I DJ'd more in Los Angeles, I started learning how to produce electronic music. So that was the next evolution for me, becoming a creator in that culture as well. So going from being a musician to becoming a producer. And I did that by remixing the bands on my label. I became obsessed with that, and all I would do is remix everything that I got my hands on. And by 2005, 2006, I mean, we were crushing it as a label. I'm about 27, 28 years old, and I look at my numbers. I didn't realize this, but I maxed out 10 different credit cards. I was over $100,000 in debt. And I could not believe it. I could not believe it. I almost was in denial when I was climbing to that debt. Like, the money's gonna come in from distribution and cover that, but it was never enough. My father, who was extremely successful as an entrepreneur and businessman, who lived a very lavish lifestyle, he would never throw a lifeline. That's just the principle of Hiroyuki Aoki. He would never throw a lifeline. I think I'm on top of the world until I see this. And like, by public perspective, people think I'm crushing on life, but I'm really just 6 figures in debt. The lifeline for me at the time was something I didn't even realize. It was the $50 to $100 gigs I was making DJing. And I had this like, almost like a piggy bank of just dirty 10s and 20s, climbing up my fees from $100 to $200. Sometimes I would make $800. And I'm doing 4 of these gigs a week. You add that up, you're gonna start chip away at that $100,000. And that's what I ended up doing. Soon, by the time I was 29, I was debt free. I paid off all my bills myself, which I'm very, very proud of. And at that point, I started making original music and spending more time in the studio and less time in the clubs. Then I was on my way making this evolution shift from just being a DJ to becoming an artist, something that would become my life's work moving forward. That leads me to 2010s, which was when my career really got to a place where I was just playing in front of thousands to 10,000s of people. It was no longer about dim mak being the breadwinner, but the DJing was the breadwinner. EDM is this transformation in electronic music when DJs were no longer hiding in the back rooms of clubs. They were playing festivals. They were the reason why everyone's flocking to a stage.
I mean, you work tremendously hard, don't you? You do a huge number of shows. I mean, why do you still do so many shows? I mean, you've made it. You made a huge amount of money. You're very famous. Why do you keep working at this rate?
So what you said is I made a lot of money and I'm very famous. Those are definitely not the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because if it was, I would be out. I'd be done. So it's definitely not money, and it's definitely not fame. And it has to be something that's, you know, that really touches me deeply, emotionally, spiritually, for me to continue at this pace.
Tell me about cake throwing. Why do you do it?
It was one of those sticky ideas that I thought of back in the day, I mean 2011, and I caked someone, we filmed it, we used social media as a tool to get it out there. It went viral and led from 1 cake to 3 cakes to 5 cakes to now 10 cakes a show. And it's one of those moments of the show that people wait for.
You get an awful lot of stick and criticism.
I've lived with criticism since I first started DJing. You know, it's just in entertainment and whatever you do, if someone likes it a lot, there's definitely someone that hates it a lot. Okay? I'd rather be there than being like, I don't really care what he does. I'd rather have to do something where it like something's happening where people are talking. And if someone's talking, then someone's also hating.
Open your mind. The world has been left broken. Open your mind. The world has been left